Most marriages don't break because of sex. They break because couples stop talking about it and suffer in silence instead. Sex is one of the most important parts of marriage. And yet, it's one of the hardest things to talk about. Not because couples don't care, but because sex touches something deeper than the body. It touches pride, fear, rejection, and the need to feel chosen. At the beginning of marriage, conversations about sex feel easier. There is curiosity, hope, excitement. You assume things will just work. But over time, something shifts. A rejection happens, or a misunderstanding, or sex starts feeling one-sided. And instead of talking about it, you go quiet, not because you don't notice the problem, but because you're afraid of what the conversation might reveal. Talking about sex feels risky. Because what if your partner hears criticism instead of pain? What if they feel blamed? What if they shut down even more? So you tell yourself it's better not to say anything. And silence begins. You start avoiding the topic. You laugh it off. You change the subject. You pretend you don't need what you clearly miss. But silence doesn't protect intimacy. It slowly erodes it. Because unspoken needs don't disappear. They turn into assumptions, resentment, emotional distance. You begin to interpret everything through that silence. Not tonight feels like rejection. A lack of initiation feels like disinterest. And every unanswered need feels personal. And still, you don't speak. Why? Because many of us were never taught how to talk about sex safely. We learned shame before we learned language. Avoidance before honesty. Endurance instead of expression. So when sex becomes painful, confusing, or disappointing, we don't know how to say, "This hurts. I miss you. I feel unwanted. I don't feel safe asking anymore." Instead, we stay quiet. And that silence becomes heavy. You can be in the same bed, share the same house, live the same life, and still feel completely alone. The tragedy isn't the lack of sex. It's the lack of conversation. Because when couples stop talking about sex, they stop talking about vulnerability. And when vulnerability disappears, connection follows. If this feels familiar, something important needs to be said. You're not weak for finding this hard. You're not broken for avoiding the conversation. You're responding to fear, not failure. And maybe right now, you're not ready to talk. Not ready to explain. Not ready to confront anything. That's okay. But silence should be a pause, not a permanent home. Because sex was never just about desire. It was about closeness, safety, being able to reach for someone without fear. And when talking about sex feels impossible, what your heart may really be saying is, "I don't want to be rejected again." Naming that truth, even quietly, even just to yourself, is the first crack in the silence. And sometimes, that's where healing actually begins.